This is football prime time. Yeah, I don't do it as well as Sam. I really don't. I'm your host, Logan.
It's bad.
I'm of course here with my co-host AJ Dean. Sam is off doing his Devils podcast. He's a master, and he switched this thing over real fast. And he's a beast. Sam Wu is one of those human beings that does a tremendous amount of work. He should get the credit he deserves, but he does a tremendous amount of work and is behind the scenes for a lot of things, and fantastic job. This is football prime time. The week before the Super Bowl, the Monday before the Super Bowl. We were off last week, had some scheduling conflicts, but we are back this week. I don't know that I think a lot of people have kind of gone over the games that happened last week. We could do it really quickly, but obviously our focus this week will be the big game on Super Bowl Sunday, as well as I want to talk about some of these coaching hires. We can get a little more at the end of the season, but I thought there was a lot of names and a lot of things that kind of happened from Brian Flores and his lawsuits now to the hirings with. Just recently came down the pike. Dennis Allen going to be the head coach for the New Orleans Saints. He was the defensive coordinator with Sean Payton stepping down. Brian Daboll with the Giants. There was a whole thing about Flores possibly getting the job and the Belichick thing where he texted him congratulations, but he really meant for the wrong Brian. There's and plus the Giants getting GM Joe Schoen from Buffalo as well. I believe Daboll's still looking for his defensive coordinator. I don't think I saw anything on the hirings for that, but they've been introduced, talking to a bunch of guys. You have Matt Eberflus for the Chicago Bears. You got Nathaniel Hackett to the Broncos, obviously him being the offensive coordinator for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, which a lot of people are now putting the dots together that maybe Aaron Rodgers to the Denver Broncos. I do think he stays one more year in Green Bay. We can talk about this later. Mike McDaniel to the Miami Dolphins. He's an offensive whiz. A lot of people like him. He's had a pretty big rise, so we'll see what happens with the Miami Dolphins and McDaniel. You have Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas for the Raiders.
Surprised by that one.
Yeah, he goes back up to the same division that he got fired from when he was the coach of the Denver Broncos. But we'll see how he develops his quarterbacks there, if it's, Derek Carr or what he's going to want to do. Lovie Smith to the Houston Texans. Lovie back in the game. Smith was David Culley's defensive coordinator. He's now the coach there. I kind of expected them to go for an offensive guy or at least something different, a young, bright mind. Kevin O'Connell's another retread. Kevin O'Connell's name has been in for the Minnesota Vikings. I believe that it is finalized. I have not heard anything positive or anything definitive, but that's because the Rams offense plays in the Super Bowl and they're not going to take him away before the end of the season. He does work under Sean McVay, so that's one of those meteoric rises with McVay and everybody taking his staff. And that's pretty much the team. Did we say Jacksonville?
No, we did not.
Doug. I scrolled over him accidentally. Doug Peterson to Jacksonville Jags. I do like the hire. I think he's going to do really well with Trevor Lawrence. I really thought that they would go with Byron Leftwich. But they went in a different direction. But I feel like Jacksonville Jaguars fans kind of like this move. I think he got a raw deal in Philly. Obviously won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. I believe he's a good good coach. So those are the hires. We'll get more into this, in our season previews as we go and kind of fill this out. You have any other comments, questions about this?
No, quickly? No, you kind of brought it up already, the Brian Flores thing. You just got to wait to see how that unfolds and what happens.
Yeah, and it's funny, before the lawsuit – sorry, I didn't mean to cover you.
No, I was saying, and if you'll even have an opportunity to still
coach again,
get a job, we'll see if a team takes a chance on him.
I do believe eventually he'll get a defensive coordinator position, and I think that Belichick would be a pretty good one to go after. But I before the lawsuit, I would have said that he would have been a head coaching candidate this season, and I could have thought of a bunch of teams that he'd be good for, including the New York Giants. But yeah, I mean, but I do understand how his approach on this, and it's not right, and it's unfortunately this kind of thing still happens in 2022, and I really wish it didn't have to happen, but it is. Couple other NFL quick notes. This whole thing with Alvin Kamara, where he had the assault allegations after the Pro Bowl in Vegas.
I didn't hear this.
There is video that backs the the plaintiff, I guess, or the guy that got punched. Approximately 8 times before Kamara's associates proceeded to stomp on him several more times on the ground in a Las Vegas casino. Kamara, not good. He was taken into custody inside the stadium on Sunday evening after he played in the Pro Bowl. I mean, I like AK-47, but that's not in any way a good look and not a good thing. And he deserves every punishment if it's true and it's proven. So, definitely tough for the Saints, and obviously for a new head coach who that's their best weapon at the moment. Other NFL news, we talked about Smith being the coach at the Texans. McVay, the Rams playing it safe with tight end Todd Higbee, which we'll get into a little bit. Uzamoa, or Zoma, I always mess up that name, the MCL, he says he's going to play in the Super Bowl, so both tight ends hoping to be back. The Pack hired Basikia to fix their special team, so he's back in the league. Well, not back in the league, he just got fired, but he will be coaching for the Pack this season, Packers. This whole thing with Brian Flores, Goodell and Civil Rights Group met on the Rooney Rule, and there obviously will be modifications and changes to it to better help quality candidates get interviews. It really is sad that it's still old man's club where these retreads get used again, and they can't just find the bright young minds.
Yep.
And I do like guys like Bruce Arians who hire the best qualified candidates. He doesn't care what color they are. They could be green, purple. It doesn't matter to him. And he gets the best players. And he understands that, African-American head coaches and assistant head coaches, they have, they're in common, right, with the players, and they understand what they go through. Guys like Todd Bowles has played the NFL. Guys like Brian Leftwich has played in the NFL, and they understand what it's like to be an African American playing in the league, and what they're dealing with, and they have a camaraderie, and it's a smart hire, and he gets the best guys to coach his teams with him, and he's putting these guys in great positions, and they're putting themselves in great positions by making sure that their defense is playing up to snuff or their offense is doing well. But it's good to see, and you need more of that, and you need for this to just be a fluid, just a fluid environment for top young coaches and top young talent to get the best positions and to get those head coaching candidacies. So, I like Brian Flores a lot, and what he's doing is good, and he really is a leader of men. I mean, he took a shitty Miami team where the NFL owner, when we'll talk about this in the recent coming weeks, but first of all, he should be out of the league. There's no reason why he's in the league anymore. Paying and offering to pay a coach that does well and wins.
But...
Well, yeah, he has text messages for this, but yes, allegedly still. But the guy is a winner, and you're telling him to lose. So, I mean, yes, he would have got Joe Burrow. Maybe that changes things instead of Tua a little bit, but still the point is that you're paying him to lead your team out of this, and he's doing that, and then you're like, dial it back this year because I want to get a better quarterback. I don't. Yeah, it's not in his blood, and it didn't make any sense. Yeah, so good for Brian Flores, and I really do hope that this works out for him. He's able to get back in the NFL.
Yep.
So we talked about coaches. Let's go real quickly into the scores from a week and a half
Wait,
now ago.
real quick, you don't want
Oh,
to talk about the
sorry.
other big news of
What did I miss?
the new name, the
Oh,
Washington
the
Commanders?
Commanders. Yeah, terrible. Um, yeah, I was not a big fan of that name change.
Yep.
What were the other Washington football team um, name
They really should
options?
just kept it the Washington football team.
I don't like that. It was
I mean,
between
I was getting used to it.
so there was something that they had issued out, and I'm trying to apologies. I'm trying to find it. So it was the Red Wolves or the Wolves, which was okay, I guess. You know, people like seeing animals on team jerseys, and
I mean, you
it's
can't go
better to do
wrong with that
mascots.
either.
I thought that was good. The Commanders was another one, which apparently all the players kind of liked. I don't like it. I wanted the Hogs. The Washington Hogs would have been perfect. Dates back to their name. I mean, they have groups called the Hogs and the Hogettes. Um, you know, the '80s and the best offensive lines in the sport. I really thought that was what you wanted and what you want to do. The
Yeah.
Washington Defenders wouldn't have been terrible. It's obviously named after or well, maybe close in name to the XFL's DC Defenders, but um, I didn't mind that one so much. I actually kind of like the Washington Admirals. I thought that would have been a good
Admirals is
one.
good
The
too.
Admirals.
Yeah.
They also had the Armada or the Brigade, and then the Presidents, which they were never going to use, and then
Yeah.
the football team just in general. Um, yeah, I really and they could have, I guess, went with Washington Warriors, which going back to the old Warriors uh, logos, and then maybe even using the old logo that they had as the Redskins. But um, yeah, my first team was the Hogs, and my second one was the Admirals, and then I didn't really care after that. But yeah, I don't like the Commanders all that much. I think I don't know, it just doesn't really ring.
Well, I just find it funny all the people kind of like the nicknames that are coming out for it, and people are saying like the Washington commies and
Yeah, the
stuff like
commies.
that, and they're saying
Yeah,
how
there's a lot of different things that I've heard. So
yeah,
yeah.
some other ones that we won't say, but and then you have just with Washington sports in general, it's like for the old Soviet Union with the flag.
Oh,
This was it the CC?
uh, CCSK.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
you know what
Toronto.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about. But it's just funny, just kind of like all communism stuff and old Soviet Union, which is just funny for
yeah,
Washington with all the names. But um, yeah, I kind of looking at their uniforms right now. I kind of like that they had the black ones, but I don't get where it goes with the colors that they normally have. I mean, the white
yeah,
jerseys and uniforms look The red ones look nice, but
yeah. I'm not
um,
a big fan.
yeah, I mean, could have been a better name, could have been a worse name, but I'm sure if we were to have picked, like the Dolphins or even the Jets now, it's like, people probably would have been up in arms, been like, "What, really? Like those are the best names you can come up with?"
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're really right. The Jets wouldn't have been a great one to choose for New York, but they've been
Giants,
around for so long. Yeah, Giants, football Giants. I can see that one being, I guess, okay. Yeah, I mean, Metropolitans would probably be like,
yeah,
something like that, or the New Yorkers, or I don't know. I'm sure they would have done something ridiculous. Um, all right, do you want to go into the old games from last week? You want to lead her off?
sure,
Give some
yeah,
give some scores.
yeah. We pulled up. Well, do you want to talk about the NFC AFC fantastic Pro Bowl that was
That is
yesterday?
beautiful. Yeah, no, that was really good. I think
Joe Burrow, or not
Stefan
Joe Burrow,
Diggs,
Mac
Mac
Jones,
Jones,
70-yard touchdown run that
Scamper.
wasn't,
Yeah, yeah, the guys just ran away from him.
yeah,
Yeah,
a little two
it's
hand
such a
touch.
joke, and the skills competition they have is a joke, and yeah, I hate All Star games in general, but I know it's for kids and you're trying to get younger fans, and I understand that, but it just I didn't think it was
Yeah.
anything great. Um,
No, but so conference championships, the AFC game, the first one, Bengals versus Chiefs.
yeah,
Um, really, really good game. Another one that went into OT.
yeah, I
Went down to
mean,
the wire. I mean, both games went down to the wire.
yeah,
Bengals. Evan McPherson. with the leg
Guy is
that's golden leg. In that overtime winner. Um, I mean, it was an exciting game again. The Bengals coming back and down. I don't know how much they were down, but in the second half, at the start, but um, they played a great game. That defense has
him in
been playing
21-10.
fantastic.
They're down 21-10. Their defense played really well. Um, I'm on the side that I don't know what the Chiefs were doing. They just all of a sudden shut it down in the third and fourth quarters. The Bengals, you got to give them credit, right? They played really well offensively. Defensively, they were very good against a high-powered Chiefs offense.
Mm-hmm.
They end up bringing it overtime, and you have the play with Mahomes where he throws an interception, and
Yep.
Bengals McPherson comes down and gets the 31-yard game-winning field goal. Um, you know, Joe Burrow is they first of all they raised an 18-point lead, which ties the AFC title game record for the largest comeback. And then they're never out of it. They continually control the game with rushing. Joe Mixon had a decent game. Um, Joe Burrow is just cool, calm, and collected. He knows what
Yep.
he's doing. He's a second-year player going into a championship, NFL Super Bowl, and he knows what he's doing with LSU. He's been there. He's been a winner, and I'm pretty impressed by this kid. He's uber confident, and he leads offense, and he's kind of reminds me of Joe Cool, right, in Montana, and just his ability
Yeah.
to laugh things off. He got sacked 9 times, and he continually goes out there the next time, and he expects to throw a 30-yard bomb, or a great slant to Tyler Boyd. He's what you want in a quarterback, which sucks as a Jet fan. But yeah, I like what he does. But yeah, I really do think that the Kansas City Chiefs blew this game. It was theirs to win. They completely just choked on it at the
Mm-hmm.
end there. Kind of just changed their entire offense. I feel like they almost wanted to keep doing trick plays and get big yards, and then when they took that away, they just wouldn't take the checkdowns and the little small dink dunk passes. They just went away from them. They tried to just do bombs to Tyreek Hill, Byron Pringle.
Which is kind of
You could,
funny too, because that's what got them to the AFC
yeah,
Championship game. Those
yeah,
those little
dinks
quick
and
check
dunks,
downs. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And
it was
Mahomes, I thought,
surprising.
had one of his worst games that I've seen in quite a while. The 40 QBR, he was all over the place. I know he had 3 touchdowns, but he just couldn't seem to get it going. Their running
Yep.
game, Jerick McKinnon did pretty well, but Edwards-Helaire, I don't know why they just didn't give him any more touches than he normally gets. Travis Kelce obviously had a game, 10 for 95, the touchdown. Hill, more quiet, he still had the touchdown, and then Mecole Hardman with the other touchdown, the 44-yard bomb. Yeah, and we'll talk about it as we get in the matchup, but Jamar Chase had a good game. T. Higgins was his most reliable receiver. He had that monster that monster 44-yard
Mhm.
pass down the field. Samaje Perine had another one where he went for 41 yards. And Tyler Boyd was quiet, 4 for 19, but he's a safety option, and he gets the
Yeah.
first downs, and he's great for getting targets for Burrow. Logan Wilson's a tackling machine, and guys like Sam Hubbard with 2 sacks, Trey Hendrickson, sack and a half, and they're going to need those guys in this game upcoming because LA Rams. I think the one thing they can do is allow pressures. That offensive line, I don't know that's outside of Whitworth and the center, they're not the best at that. So credit to the Bengals. It was a great win, and they are obviously on the Super Bowl. The night game, which you have anything else? Sorry, on
Oh no, I was to say, who'd have thought though that the Cincinnati Bengals would be here at the beginning of the season, right? We were thinking that they were
yeah,
going to be, like a 5-win team, 6-win team, on the
yeah,
on the cusp of becoming a good NFL team, needing another maybe piece or two here and there. I I mean, for them to be 10-7, finishing the regular season, and to have the impressive wins against the Tennessee Titans and the
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs coming back the way they did. Um, it's great to see a fresh new team like the Bengals come in, and um, it's funny. I think a lot of people were not necessarily shocked, obviously, that the Bengals picked Joe Burrow, at number one. But a lot of people thought, hey, get Penei Sewell, right? Get somebody that can.
So that was you're
Sorry,
talking about
Jamar
Jamar
Chase.
Chase.
Not yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
No, yeah,
Um,
there were a lot of Bengals fans that actually were super pissed at that move and kind of rejected the
yeah,
team. I mean, hopefully you didn't do that because you're not going to be very happy. But yeah, I mean, it just shows you that offense and getting the uber talents
yeah,
wherever they are, just get the best player available. And if
yep,
if that really is a wide receiver, then that's what you take. And I know
yeah.
Penei Sewell is doing really well with the Lions, but I mean, Jamar Chase is a beast, and
Yeah,
he
and
is fun to watch.
and you see what happens with Burrow. I mean, he can
Yeah,
move
great
around. He
connection.
can keep pocket, and yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
they got the connection together. So
Okay, let's quickly go 49ers Rams. Rams win 20-17. They have that play at the end um, that gets them really into field goal range, and they kick the field goal from Mac A. Um, I watching the game in the beginning. It was really slow. The first quarter, I think, it was 0-0.
hmm
Finally you have them both score in the second. I think the Rams actually led it. Sorry, Niners actually led it going into halftime 10-7. San Fran scores in the third, and you're thinking, Rams are going to cough this one up because they just couldn't seem to get it going. Um, I feel like, the Stafford interception, and he actually almost had a second one. He did not
hmm
have a very good game. Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, you did the stat last time. When he throws a TD, he's a loser. When he doesn't
yeah,
throw a TD, he was undefeated. And Jimmy throws the TD. He throws two, and they couldn't get their running game really going. Debo had the 7 carries, we only had 26 yards. Elijah Mitchell, he was averaging like 2 yards a carry. The Rams defense was suffocating them at their line, which is what you want to control that team because you wanted to put it in Jimmy's hands and have him beat you. Obviously, Debo Samuel has a 44-yard ridiculous catch and run, and
hmm
he was the best player on the field. I know that Cooper Kupp had 11 for 142 and the 2 touchdowns, and I love Cooper Kupp, but Debo is so dynamic that I really did thought that he was the best player. But they just couldn't feed him the ball, and they couldn't get it to him quick enough. Brandon Ayuk had a decent game. George Kittle had the touchdown, but he was only targeted 5 times, only had 2 catches. On the other side, Cam Akers, he didn't fumble the ball, which is good for Cam Akers. He
I'm
had a
still
decent
really
game.
impressed though that he came back from
Yeah, I
tearing
mean,
his
it's terrible.
ACL, and being able to come back in the playoffs. And
Yeah, it's incredible.
I thought he was pretty effective for the most part.
Yeah,
This postseason for them. I mean, obviously he had
yeah.
the fumbles, but
And they're going to
um,
need him to be effective, this coming
yeah,
week because they're going to want to set up the pass with the play action. And, obviously, uh, both receivers for LA, Cooper Kupp, like I said, 11 for 142, the 2 touchdowns. His ability to just that stutter step that he has after he makes the catch just makes everybody miss. He's not the fastest
yeah,
guy. He's very quick. He's extremely quick. He's not big, but he just knows his route running is precise. Stafford knows exactly where he needs to throw the ball, and he knows that Cooper Kupp will get there. Odell Beckham was awesome. His first game over
yep,
100 yards since 2016. 17
yeah,
it was like 20
yeah,
it
something
was
like
like
that. Yeah,
2018 or something like that. It was crazy. But 9 for 113. He had that 29-yard reception, which was really big for the team. Kendall Blanton did really well as the tight end replacement. He had 5 for 57, was his best game. Tyler Higbee,
yeah.
obviously we talked
He had
about
that
him being
big.
out.
He had that drop
Yeah.
too, right in the end zone.
Yeah, he did. Yep. But Higbee, out as well as Ozuma. So we'll see what happens with them in the championship game. But Van Jefferson had a quiet game, and really they relied on their defense.
Yeah,
Um, you know, I know that Aaron Donald didn't have any sacks. Same thing. I don't think Von Miller had a sack either. Actually, I don't think they had any
So
sacks.
so so um, Donald had at the end of the game, he basically caused that interception. I think
Yeah. Oh yeah.
he got a tip, either tipped it or got into hit Jimmy G, which caused that turnover. But
Yeah, he had the 2 QB hits. Yep. Yeah, and that was a extremely poor play
yeah,
by Jimmy Garoppolo. You
hmm
got to throw that away, and you got to trust that you can, make another play later on. And that's what they did. They pinned their ears back, and they went after him multiple times on those last 2 drives, and you could see their offense just
have
crumble.
nothing.
It was,
Yeah,
absolutely nothing for it. Fred Warner was really great for San Fran. Same thing. Emmanuel Mosley. Jaquiski Tart had the interception and it would have sealed the game, but he dropped it. And then
yep,
the next series for the Rams, Jalen Ramsey has a pick right in his hands and he drops it too.
he drops
And
it
you're
too.
like, geez,
Yeah,
none of these teams want to take the game and just own it. But yeah, it was an exciting game. Watching the whole thing, ebbs and flows, and you're like, man, you don't know which team's going to score. And there were talks. I was pretty interested actually in seeing a Bengals 49ers game. Obviously, I happier that the Rams are in it because I have some money on the
hmm
Rams. I also had money on the Mahomes and the
Chiefs.
Chiefs, which would have been nice if I had won because then I would have won no matter what. But it is what it is. So the big game coming up. Unless you have anything else, AJ.
No, just that I guess it goes to show you how much a QB is needed, right? Yeah, when you have
Yeah.
Jimmy G out there, and who knows if this is going to be, or if that was his last game as a 49er.
I think it definitely is. He has already talked about
Yeah,
being traded to a team that is ready to win. My bigger question, and we'll talk about this, like I said, more in the offseason, is where they go for a quarterback option. I know that they have Trey Lance, but he did not look good in the regular season. So do they get another stopgap? Do they get someone to, do they get their version of Matthew Stafford to come in? Someone
no,
with a 1 year or 2?
I think you got to at least give him an opportunity, bring in a veteran, some of that.
I got a name
Maybe
for
bring
you.
in. Oh, I got one
Of,
too. I was say Taylor
of
Heineke.
No. I have a vet name for you. 1 year option. Aaron
What did you say,
Rodgers.
Rogers?
He's from He's from the Bay Area. His guy was Joe Montana. He watched him. Cal guy. I'm.
I mean,
Is it a bad idea to go to Kyle Shanahan's offense? He has
no.
weapons.
I mean, I definitely don't
And
think that's a
could
bad
he
option.
bring Devontae Adams with him?
There's no way they'd be able to
I
afford
don't know
both
what
those guys.
we'd have to look into this, but I mean, crazier could be crazier.
Yeah.
And just quickly, Joe Burrow, his press conference with the sunglasses and the big chain, and then his comment, his quote.
Turtleneck,
The
right?
guy asked him the turtleneck. The guy asked him if it was real. First of all, what idiot would ask the guy if if those are real diamonds or jewels or whatever? And he's
Yeah.
like, "I'll make too much money for this not to be real." That was perfect. I mean, he is a lot of. I can see him though wearing down my patience after a while. If he wins and he wins and he wins, I could see this clearly coming a Brady situation where I'm like, I hate this guy. So. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
so much confidence and a lot of fun. And
He's a likable guy, which is nice.
Yeah, he absolutely is. All right, so obviously Super Bowl returns to LA. It will be at SoFi.
Second year in a row, right? Where
Yep.
The home team is actually the home team.
Yeah. You got Matt Stafford in a Super Bowl. He got his first playoff win. This is his first Super Bowl. So pretty good story for him. Just looking at there's star-studded talent all over the field. From Von Miller, Aaron Donald on defense, Jalen Ramsey, and then on the other side, you got guys like Trey Hendrickson, like Sam Hubbard, guys maybe not named so much, but on offense, you got Joe Burrow and you got Jamar Chase and you got T. Higgins, and you got an offensive line, you got a running back, but then you look at the Rams, right, and they can just match that offense as well. And I really do think that it's going to be a shootout. I would take the over. I think that when you look at these two teams. You have guys that are going to be able to sling it, and both Stafford and Burrow are not in any way adverse to slinging the ball around and
Yep, they're
making
not
the big
shy.
play. Nope, they'll throw the 50-yard bomb, and if it's an interception, they'll come back and they'll throw a 60-yard bomb after that in the next possession. So, you know, I like this matchup. I think it's going to be a lot of
Hmm.
fun to watch, and I'm excited to see who comes out of this. I do, if you're going to put a gun in my head and I have to bet, I'm going to say the Rams just because I do think that their defense can make the big play with the talent that they
Hmm.
have. If Jalen Ramsey gets an interception or Donald strip sack, Von Miller just getting in the face of Joe Burrow. And I know that offensive line, it does have some decent players, but they've allowed a lot of pressures. The Bengals, that is, and actually both lines, I think are a little shaky in terms of that regard. But running the ball, they're very efficient, and I could see that offensive line giving him, Burrow some issues with protection, and especially with guys like Von Miller and Aaron Donald coming down. And you're not even mentioning guys like Leonard Floyd, who's a very good second-rate guy. But what's your thoughts?
No, I mean, I agree with you. I think, I'm leaning Rams. I just think they just have too much talent on that team. Um, obviously both teams have talent, but I just think that the Rams have the edge there. I like Stafford's weapons more. I mean, Jamar
Yeah,
Chase has been a beast this year, but I just think that Stafford has more weapons. Um, but I think this game is going to be close, like all the other games have been this postseason. Um, I think it's going to come down to which quarterbacks throws the interception or fumbles, or can't make that play. Um,
yeah,
Stafford in this offense this year has shown that they can regress and cause turnovers and throw interceptions and fumbles, and they've had a lot of teams that have kind of stayed in it throughout the regular season, and they've lost some games that I thought they should have won. And I mean the Bengals 10-7 obviously have won a lot of good games, but they've also I thought have played down to some competition too. Um, but I think ultimately it's going to come down to which quarterback has that late game interception.
yeah. Uh, and just for shits and giggles, I'll say my score. Let's go Rams. Let's see here. Let's go Rams 31, Bengals 27.
All right,
31
I'll
7.
go. I'll go Rams 27-24.
Rams 27-24. I like it. Not bad. Um,
So.
you know, obviously, like we said, the trenches is the big thing. You know, Greg Gaines has been really good as a nose tackle. On the other side, Ashawn Robinson, and then on the edge, like we talked about, Leonard Floyd. Jonah Williams, pretty good left tackle for the Bengals. I do think that Trey Hopkins is a decent center option. He sometimes loses protections a little bit, but that's where it's going to be really big for Burrow and getting the ball out quick. To
Hmm.
try to stop that pass rush, establish a run, and kind of get going that way. Um, I just saw that. I guess Jalen Ramsey was fined 15,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct versus the Rams. I didn't even see where that happened, but and on the other side, on the cornerback side, I was looking at Jalen Ramsey. I mean, do you shadow him on Jamar Chase and you just say let T Higgins and Tyler Boyd beat me?
I think you see how it goes. Maybe first drive. Because
Yeah,
was it last week or 2 weeks ago, right? With who were they play? Was it Evans, right? That burned the other cornerback, and Rams was like, no, I got him the rest of the time. So I
yeah,
mean, maybe they pull one of those.
yeah. Put
I
two
just
over the
see how it
top, and
goes.
then
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that being an issue. Yeah, I mean, early predictions. I believe a lot of betting favorites have kind of taken Burrow and the Bengals. Um, I'm trying to see. I was trying to see real fast um, what the odds were because
What
I
the
was looking
line was at?
through it.
The line was at 4.5. I thought I saw before
4.5
for the Rams.
for the Rams. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
a lot
and
of
then
money going in for the Bengals. And then because I know
over
the
under
over
was
under is
48.
48.5, right? Oh, I saw
Yep.
48.5.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to say any bold predictions, what
I'm gonna say there's gonna be a safety.
safety? All right.
That's my bold
Yeah,
prediction.
I don't think that's going to happen at all. Um,
When was the last time?
yeah, I mean, I
What was
could
the last time
see
a safety was that Denver Panthers?
it
Right?
might have
Wasn't there a
been.
safety in that?
Yeah, it might be. I'll go with what's my biggest prediction? I'll go the Rams forcing 2+ interceptions of Joe Burrow over,
All
two
right.
or more
Yeah, I could
interceptions.
see that.
I think it'll
I could
be
definitely
pretty
see that.
interesting. Yeah, I mean he throws the ball, he slings it, and I could see they're a very opportune defense. So
Especially late
um,
too the game.
yeah, head coaches obviously Sean McVay makes his second Super Bowl. Taylor in his first. Taylor obviously a very good good head coach. Really turned this team over. Um, there's talks about him, having his own kind of coaching tree and losing some player, some guys coming up. He's obviously coached them very well. Yeah, I just think it's going to be a nail biter. I think it's going to be offensive,
Yeah.
and it's just going to be fun. It's just we'll obviously be watching together, and I'll put some shekels on some different bets. I do think that um, uh, Joe Mixon's going to have a pretty good game. I'd say over 100 yards from scrimmage. I think the Cooper Cup, you can pretty much put it in the
Yeah,
bank
I
that
would
he'll have.
guarantee that. Yeah.
I think his over on catches was 7 or 8 that I saw. I'd take the over on that. I won't even look back. I do think that I would take an under on yards for Jamar Chase because I do think they're going to use Jalen Ramsey on him, and I think I'd go the positive on T. Higgins. I think he'll take the over.
I would take
I
the
definitely
yards
think,
on Cup too.
yeah. Also, I'd try to find if there was some kind of a parlay you could do where both quarterbacks with interceptions. I
Yeah,
think
I can
that'll
see that.
absolutely happen because these guys are both, like I said, these guys are gunslingers and they just don't care and they'll do it again and again and again. You have anything else? Lastly, before we head out,
No, no. I mean, I think this might be just looking back one of the best postseasons that
it
we've
could
seen
be.
for the
Yeah,
NFL playoffs. I mean, with the games and just how entertaining everything has been. I don't think there's. I mean, the wild card had what two? I think two blowouts, right?
yeah,
I mean, if you would call them that, but um, you know, since then, I mean, they've been fantastic games. You
yeah. The
know,
wild card had the Bengals 26-19 over the Raiders. Bills slaughtered the Patriots. Buccaneers pretty handily beat the Eagles. 49ers had the 23-17 over the Cowboys,
mhm.
and then Chiefs slaughtered the Steelers.
All right, so you have three.
Actually, sorry, 4 because the Cardinals, Rams pretty much owned that one the entire way as well. Yeah, so there's a little more slaughters, but I mean, you can't beat the divisional round.
Yeah,
Um, just in general, like the Bengals win against the Titans was awesome. You had the Packer Green Bay, even though both those games were not very high scoring, they just were awesome defensive
yeah.
contests. You had that
And then
Rams game
Chiefs,
over the
Bills.
Bucks where Brady tried to bring him back and just couldn't get it going. Rams finally said, "All right, we'll take it." And then the Chiefs Bills, which the best game I think I've ever watched. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of fun. So you want to do
All
some
right.
trivia and we'll head out?
Yeah. All right. Um, so this will be the second time a pair of number one overall quarterbacks have met in the Super Bowl. That is Stafford and obviously Joe Burrow. Can you name the first pair of first overall quarterbacks that met in the Super Bowl?
The first pair of number one overall. Boomer was number one overall, wasn't he?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Number one overall pick too. Sorry. Number one overall pick.
Um, is it the Bengals Niner? No, because Joe Montana wasn't number one overall, was he? Huh. Um,
Do you want me to give you a hint?
yeah, sure. More recent or
I mentioned the game earlier. The two teams earlier.
I don't remember what you said.
All right, you see him on every Monday, usually. Sometimes he's off for Monday night games as an announcer with
Hey,
his brother.
oh, it's Peyton.
Yep.
Oh no,
So Peyton. So Peyton.
I actually would have said Eli. Um, but that would have been Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Peyton and was it Drew Brees? No.
Matt Breeze. Can you name the other two quarterbacks?
Wait, the other two quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, the other two quarterbacks. He was in 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah. So one was Russell Wilson.
Okay. No.
One was Drew Brees.
No.
The other one was the Bears.
Nope. It was Panthers. Cam Newton. So
Wait,
Peyton
he
Manning
played
and
Cam.
Cam Newton. Yep.
Oh, because he did win two. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he was 2-2. All right, yeah, I forgot. I totally forgot about the.
The
I totally
Panthers.
forgot
Oh.
about Carolina Panthers. Yeah,
Yeah. So Manning and
yeah.
Newton were the first
Well,
first quarterbacks, first number 1 overall quarterbacks, first
not
number
bad.
overall picks. Yeah.
I like it. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and obviously, going to be a pretty good end to a really good season, and we'll be back next week to kind of go over the game, and then we'll discuss the off season, and we'll take a little break, but we'll be back, and we'll have some fun, and maybe get some callers and some guests as well. So really appreciate it. AJ, why don't you take us out?
Well, everybody, have a happy time
Super
enjoying
Bowl.
the Super Bowl. This has been Football Primetime.